there, my little niffler friends. I'm Brittany Kay. Welcome back to my channel full of magical geeky goodness. Today I have for you my theme park survival guide. If you guys follow my Instagram, what you don't, link is in the bio. Get on that. You will see that I spend a good chunk of my time at theme parks. I'm a bit obsessed, and that's just where I like to spend a majority of my time. I currently have an annual pass to Universal Studios Hollywood and Six Flags Magic Mountain. I grew up in Florida and have carried passes for Universal Orlando as well as Busch Gardens Tampa Bay, and while I've never actually held an annual pass, I have been to Disney World more times than I could possibly count, and also Disneyland once. I'm a well-seasoned park goer, and I plan my trips so that I can fit the most fun into the least amount of time while still doing so in a leisurely fashion without getting stressed out. Theme parks, while magical and can be the best memories of your life, can also be incredibly overcrowded, expensive, and downright exhausting. So tip number one, prioritize. Know beforehand what are the most important things that you want to do. Be that character signings, rides, food, drinks, what have you. For example, when Cruz and I are headed to Universal, we make an agreement on the top 3 things we want to accomplish while we're there that day, and butterbeer always makes the list. Knowing what's important to you is going to be the key to making all of these tips work in your favor. Tip number 2, happy hour. If you live within an hour, half hour of your park of choice, start treating it like your local bar. I don't mean go and get wasted. I mean go around the time of happy hour, especially during peak season when the hours are generally much longer, so the park will be open until 10 p.m. rather than 6 p.m. If you arrive between 3 and 6 p.m., this is generally when all of the larger families are heading out because the kids are getting cranky or they have dinner reservations elsewhere. I find that the lines for just about everything cut in half during these hours. If you're in a place like Disney though, be aware the crowds will start packing in again after 7 p.m. for the nighttime festivities like the fireworks and the parades. If you don't have the luxury to just come and go from the park as you please, keep these hours in mind to visit the most popular rides that you couldn't get fast passes for or have the longest lines. This is when those ridiculous 2.5-hour lines will really back off. So if you're going to be at the park the entire day, shoot for some of the less popular items on your list during peak hours around noon, and also choose to eat during unusual hours. The more you do the opposite of the norm, the better shape you'll be in to avoid crowds and long lines. Tip number 3, budget. Now is where I'd probably give you tips on how to save money in the parks and give you a bunch of hubbub about packing snacks and sandwiches, but I'm not. My favorite thing about theme parks is in fact the food. I'm willing to budget my trip accordingly to make sure I can indulge in the theme park delicacies. Honestly, your trip to Diagon Alley means absolutely nothing if you aren't going to stop into the Leaky Cauldron for some classic British fare or Florian Fortescue's for the best darn ice cream you've ever had. Food is an incredibly important part of what makes an experience special to me, so I prioritize budgeting that into my trip. For me, I'd rather save money elsewhere, like on lodging or merchandise. Aside from wands at the Wizarding World, I prefer to buy my nerdy memorabilia online, where you can find exactly the same items for much lower prices without the resort tax. I do make exceptions often for this though, because sometimes it's just part of the experience to buy things from the shops, especially when it comes to the Wizarding World. So I make up for it elsewhere. I'd honestly much rather stay in the Econo Lodge down the street if it means I get to spend extra money on food and merch in the parks. If the sole reason of your trips is to visit the parks, you don't need to worry about spending a ton of money on the resort hotels as long as you have a bed to sleep in at the end of the day. Finally, tip number 4, enjoy. My favorite thing to do at the parks personally is to leisurely stroll around. I feel like a lot of people forget to take the time to appreciate all the attention to detail that is put into these parks, especially at the Wizarding World and Disney. So next time you're at a park, grab your favorite park drink or snack and just take the time to really soak up your surroundings and catch the little hidden details you never noticed before. It will make your experience that much more magical, and because you won't be sprinting from ride to ride, it will also be way less stressful. Well, my little niffler friends, that is my theme park survival guide. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old magical like, and if you want more detailed theme park tips, let me know down in the comments below and let me know for which parks. If you're not already, please subscribe. We are one big happy niffler family full of magical geeky goodness, and we'd absolutely love to have you. I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye-bye!